Hey YouTube, Pipe and Beardsman here. Figured I'd go ahead and throw a quick video together today, kind of as a video response to the Dodifpipes giveaway number 4 that I saw posted on Instagram this morning. So, stepped out here to a portion of my shop in the barn, which I don't usually get into much. Kind of been too cold, and my heating setup out here hasn't been working quite right. Well, as you guys can tell by the lighting, neither is that. In any event, out of smoking some in soda bed, and I'm doing so in a Dodifpipe. This is a cob I got from him off his Etsy shop. Really like it. I actually have a humble collection of cob pipes, and of the cob pipes that I have so far, this is by far my favorite one. So we'll go ahead and use this as the first part of the Dodifpipes giveaway number 4. It's hard to pick a favorite pipe, really, to be honest with you, because I like all of them for one reason or another. Otherwise, I wouldn't have purchased them. But since Dodifpipes are cob pipes, I live in Cornfield County, USA here, and corn is a very large staple of the economy up here. I'm going to go ahead and stick with cobs. And of my cobs, again, this is perhaps, without a doubt, I got a crappy camera, so I doubt that does any good. This is by far my favorite pipe so far as my cobs are concerned. Now, if I were to win this giveaway, I would definitely have to say that that would be my new favorite pipe. So anyhow, to answer that first question, this is my favorite pipe, and why? Well, it's a Dodifpipe. I mean, that's a no-brainer there. I would have to say, of all of the cob pipes I've seen, and there's a few. I have some favorite pipes as far as pipe makers in the cob genre. Rearview Driver, I believe that's what he calls himself, that Rearview Driver there on Instagram. The Shaw Pipe Company. But number one, Dodifpipes. Brother, I like your pipes. I always have. If my budget allowed, I'd own as many of them as possible. Kind of bummed that I missed out on that Cobb cigar giveaway that you did a while back, but I'm making up for it now, brother. As soon as we get the smoke out of the way, I'm smoking in soda bed in a Dodifpipes cob, and I'm tamping it with my own homemade corn cob tamper. Again, crappy video, crappy lighting in here, so I apologize for that. But it is a shell casing, a bamboo shank, and a piece of corn cob. So, in any event, cool. Would love to have a cob tamper from you as well, brother. It would look sweet in my collection. So, I think I've got that much of the giveaway requirements out of the way. As far as movies, not a huge movie watcher, and not that I don't enjoy them. They've gotten so pricey these days. And with a family the size of the one I'm in, it gets very, very, very expensive to take everybody out, and then everybody wants drinks and popcorn and candy and so on and so forth. And so we don't really go to the movies much. In this area, though, things are a bit old-fashioned, so they do have a really cool drive-in. So during the summer, that does change quite a bit. Though I will have to say that, movies that have come out recently, I'm not a huge fan of. So, as far as a top 5 for me, I would think back on my childhood and the period in time in which movies were really, really awesome for me. And that was growing up. And I'd have to say the Star Wars movies. First and foremost, because I've always been into sci-fi. And the first Star Wars movie, obviously my favorite, it is the original, though I like all of them. Sadly, though, I haven't been able to go out and see the most recent one. Although that is on my list of items to do. And hopefully that'll be out shortly. I do have some sites I can go to online and kind of check those out before they become available in the stores, so I may have to do that. So I guess that would be maybe my top movie would be Star Wars. Thinking back, some of the movies I really enjoyed watching, I like the Raiders of the Lost Ark series or the Indiana Jones series, and Raiders of the Lost Ark was perhaps my favorite of those. I like that simply because I like action and adventure. That is the genre that I tend to gravitate to more often than not, I guess, when it comes to movie watching. Though I did like some of the videos that you listed in your top 5, brother. I really do. I like the Terminator series, though I won't say that's in my top 5. Not a bad movie. The Predators, not a bad movie. Avatar wasn't a bad movie either, and I really liked the graphics. I went to school for graphic design. I went to school for fine arts. I'm an artist in a variety of mediums, so obviously, those type of movies appeal to me because there's a lot of graphics, computer generated graphics, and that would be, an area that if I were younger, I would definitely go back to school to get into that because I love doing that kind of stuff. I love watching that kind of stuff, and awesome selection. I'm sure your top 300 list of movies would probably parallel, quite a bit with my top 300, or to have the patience to sit down and make that list. So Star Wars, because of sci-fi, just because it kind of took the movie, I guess it took movies in general in just a completely new direction with the special effects it had for its time period. And I guess I'm giving away my age because I was old enough in 1977 when that movie first came out to be able to go watch it originally in the theater and be old enough to know what was going on and appreciate it and be hyped by it. And Raiders of the Lost Ark, again, Indiana Jones. I live in Indiana, so I guess by default there's a reason that maybe that appeals to me somewhat, but I've always liked archaeology. I've always liked museums and things of that nature. It was a really cool movie. I was also, a big World War II buff, and since that was kind of set in the time frame of World War II, it appealed to me in that regards as well. Plus the action. Third series of movie, or I would say number 3 in my top list, and this is going to be a tough one, but I'd have to say Lord of the Rings, and all of them. Not just the first one. I like all of them, every single one that's come out, and I think it's simply because I love the books. I love the fantasy aspect of it, another world, and I think J.R. Tolkien did such a good job of creating a believable other world. In the books, he told it very well, and I think Peter Jackson did an excellent job of taking what J.R.R. Tolkien was talking about in his books and putting it on the big screen. I mean, to me, the cinematography was fantastic. The locales they used to film the movie were fantastic. The graphics and imagery, just the larger than life, everything about it. To me, I loved it. And I know you talked about Harry Potter, perhaps number 4. And I say that simply because I've got kids. And my kids are really into the Harry Potter series. And I had been initially, I use the word forced to sit through them at the theater. But they grow on me. They grew on me. And I like them. And I like them for the same reason I like, any of the movies I've listed so far. Simply because a whole new world has been created through the mind of the author, and I think a very good interpretation from the books to the movie was achieved in the making of those movie series, and obviously because they did so well at the box office. So that would be number 4, the Harry Potters. And then, number 5 could just slide in so many different directions, because I really like action adventure, but I like sci-fi. I like movies like the Fast and Furious. I like the car chases, the high energy, just the constant barrage of unbelievable over-the-top scenarios that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And that's really hard. Much like favorite pipes, I don't just have one. And top 5, I think that's tough for me because, as I grow older, as my interests change here and there, sometimes that list deviates and changes a little bit. The ones I've rattled off are my all-times. That's a really tough question. Perhaps the Aliens movie series, the original one with Sigourney Weaver, just because of what it was at that particular period of time, as it was an over-the-top movie in my mind. It stuck with me over the years, and I think it's still a movie I could sit down to this day and appreciate. A lot of movies that I was blown away as a child with, as I got older, I realized, that's just kind of cheesy and unbelievable, and the special effects nowadays are just so over the top that they tend to wow you with special effects and lose it in the storyline. So I would have to say those are my top 5. Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potters. I'll toss that in there. Yeah, I could agree with that. And last but not least, the Alien. And I'm not just talking about those specific movies, perhaps, but the whole series. In any one of those that I listed, there are obviously sequels, and I liked all of them as well. So hopefully that answers your question, brother. And give me a second. Let me relight this pipe. Digging the Dodifpipes. Always have. From the day I stumbled across your site there on Instagram, always loved your pipes. Loved following the Cobb Foolery there online and checking out some of the wild over-the-top creations that people come up with. Would love to try my hand at that myself, but there's aspects of it I haven't quite figured out yet, and I tend to go about things the hard way and reinvent the wheel. So when I see people doing a great job of doing something, I appreciate that. As an artist, this is an art form, in my opinion. And I like the way you put your pipes together, brother. It's very aesthetically pleasing. They have a good vibe and feel to it. They're good smokers. I really like this pipe. It smokes fantastically. So I think anybody that wins that pipe will be very, very lucky and very happy with the winnings that they have as far as that's concerned. It's an awesome, unique pipe. Looks cool. I'm sure it smoked great. And hopefully I win it. And if not, you know what? To whoever does win it, good for you. And hopefully, if I don't win it, the person that does may perhaps, I don't know, get into pipe smoking a little bit more because of it, or have a greater appreciation for pipes, corn cobs specifically. I know there's some people out there that are snobs, and corn cobs aren't really worth stooping to the level of smoking. If it's not briar or meerschaum, it's not at all. But I would have to disagree. I think a good cob is just as good as a good briar, and probably more so in that they're affordable. Even a cool custom cob is very affordable on a working man's budget. So excellent giveaway, brother, and look forward to seeing how this plays out. And thanks again for throwing this giveaway together. This is the Piping Beardsman, and I guess I'm signing out. So smoke on and beard strong.